Hello and welcome to the Spotter Stand, coming at you this week from Watkins Glen. Once again, we got with us in the booth BSR Pockets and BSR Hot Rod. How you guys doing this week?
Hey,
Doing
what's up,
good, doing
everybody?
good.
Oh, there's Larry. I thought he fell off the spotter stand.
Nope. I ran and then I had to make another stop and yep, but I'm back.
Not even breathing heavy. Well, it's going to be probably a quick week this week. We've got no picks, nothing new in the pick region to share with you guys this week. And the Sunday Nitro Series is off until probably mid-late September when we'll be kicking back off on there. So we're going to be starting off on Wednesday night this week. The Truck Series was off, but we did run the Drunken Cow Jerky Late Model Dirt Series at Wheat Sport this week. And at Wheat Sport, it was Rick Johnson who took the victory in the dirt.
Yes, Ricky J did a great job and won. Brian Boyle second. BSR Buckets gets third. Monty Keller fourth and Axel Foley rounds out top five.
Now, we only run this series on Wednesday in the off weeks of the truck, so it's kind of, the truck series is a lot shorter than the other two, and there are some off weeks here and there, but uh, we've had a few of these dirt races already. Let's go over here and take a look at the points in this dirt series so far. We've got BSR Brain Fade up at the top of the board with Burko in second down by 17, BSR Pockets in third down by 24, BSR Hot Rod in fourth down by 30, and BSR Axel Foley rounding out the top five down by 49.
Yeah, I'm glad you showed those points. I hadn't really, since we've been off and on again with that. Now that the truck series is in the chase and we're got some limited races and some open dates that fill in with this dirt series, I'm glad you showed that. So,
Yeah, how many races now are we into this dirt series? Larry, do you know the answer to that one?
Yep. We are 8 races in of 14, so we have six to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, six to go.
yeah, looks like Brewerton, Fonda, Fulton, Orange County, Terre Haute, and finale
Springfield
at
Mile.
Springfield Mile.
That's right. Hopefully, one of these races I'll stop having bad luck. I ain't had nothing but bad luck in this series.
Now, next week on Wednesday, the truck series will be back on at Michigan. Is that correct?
That is right. We go to Michigan Raceway in the truck series this week.
Yeah, what are we? Michigan Wednesday night in the trucks, Michigan Thursday night in the cup, and then y'all were talking earlier Friday night. We're back to some awesome road course racing at y'all say Mid Ohio.
That's right.
Yeah,
Actually, yep.
we knew that the Friday night series was going to be pretty exciting with the, and I think the truck series has. Does the truck series have another road course coming up in the chase or?
Yes, it is. Next week will be the second race of the chase for the truck series, and there is, I believe, Canadian Tire Motorsports is the road course that is in the chase for the truck series.
Oh, sport. Yeah, that'll be exciting. So there's some, we're here at Watkins Glen this week where we had some outstanding road course racing, and look at these schedules and you look at towards some of these other road courses, and I guarantee it, there's going to be a lot of interest in some of these road courses because they were just great races, great time had by everybody, great competition. So those road courses definitely throw a little twist in there from what we normally do, and so I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to it. And I can't wait to get some of these other road courses.
Yes, the trucks actually run the next 3 weeks straight, and then they'll be back on break again. The first one is Michigan, then Bristol, then they go to Canadian Truck or Canadian Tire. It is Motorplex.
Well, speaking of road courses, on Thursday night in the Cup Series, we did run Watkins Glen this week, and I know Pockets, you were watching the end of that race. I think Larry was too, man. That was a Great race between Chase Elliott and Truex for that victory at the end. And Chase couldn't finish his victory lap, ran out of gas, and got a little bit of a push from Jimmy Johnson to get back around to the front stretch there. That was a great race this afternoon to watch on NASCAR.
It
Yeah,
was.
it sure was.
He ran out of gas coming between the carousel and that left-hander there, and then Jimmy Johnson come up behind him and pushed him up to the top of the hill, and then he coasted down the rest of the way to straightaway. It was pretty cool.
Well, in our Cup Series at Watkins Glen, we had Kilojoules, KJ, back in the seat in the Cup Series, took the victory at Watkins Glen. Great job, Kilojoules.
Yes, Kill with a good win. Glad to see him back. Texas got second, HB Hardy in third, Rick Johnson in fourth, and our own Aussie Bill from down under rounds out the top 5.
Aussie Bill, great road course racer. Managed to get up there in the
Absolutely.
top 5 in the Cup Series.
Yeah, that's you know, over there in Australia, they don't really have a lot of circle tracks. That they are like most of Europe and everywhere else on the planet. It's all about road courses, and that you know, Bill grew up watching road courses as well as NASCAR. But I mean, growing up in other countries beside the United States, that road course racing is where it's at. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of road course races all over the world, and that's I don't think a lot of people are aware how huge motorsports is besides the United States. I mean, in Europe and other countries like that, motorsports is a huge thing, but they don't have circle track racing unless, like in Australia, it's dirt track racing. They have that on circle tracks, but for the most of the rest of the world, it's all about the road courses and super high-powered road course racing cars. So that's probably has a lot to do with Bill's success, because he's, you know, the way he was brought up into road course racing. And he and I have had many talks about Mount Panorama Bathurst over there. That's a great road course. One of my favorites.
Oh yeah, that's a great track. Yep, you either road course race in Australia or you sprint car dirt race. That's pretty much the key over there.
Let's take a look at the points here in the Thursday Night Cup Series into the second segment. I believe there's only 4 races left to go before this segment ends and the chase starts for the Cup Series. And it's BSR Chevy Chase up at the top of the board with Rick Craddock in second, down by 6, and Terry Scott in third, only down by 7. And you got BSR Pockets in fourth, down by 19, and myself, BSR Texan, rounding out the top 5, down by 30.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking group there up at the top. They're all still battling, still got time for those positions to move around and stuff. So we'll got some interesting tracks coming up here. So, you know, this Watkins Glen race, that's, you know, everybody calls Talladega the wild card race, especially in the chase and stuff like that. But I tell you what, these road courses are the real wild card, because you get guys that are, you know, you're good at racing. Well, you're good at all principles of it. You know, a road course is where you have an opportunity to shine. And some people that are excellent at circle track racing, speedway racing, you know, road course racing is a whole totally different animal. So you have to kind of balance and participate and practice and be a part of both principles of racing to be successful. So, you know, you see these guys, they do a lot of practice on these road courses, because, like I said, the majority of our series is on, you know, mile and a half, 1 mile, you know, a few short tracks, some super speedways, and these road courses throw something a little bit different in there. And I really like seeing the popularity of people enjoying these road course races. So it's we had a great field Thursday night for a road course. I mean, I think we had almost 20 people.
I think we had exactly 20 people, as a matter of fact. And there were a couple of cautions, but we had one good run in there that was, I think, damn near a full fuel run. I think we had about a 13, 14 lap stretch in there of green flag racing at Watkins Glen, and it was a great race, a lot of fun.
Yeah, the way we stick to the principle of truly simulating these races is that we leave the cautions on just like all the other races. You see some other groups will turn the cautions off and call the gentleman's cautions or call their own cautions and stuff like that. But we have confidence in the quality of drivers that we have, that we let the game, the game officials throw the cautions when it needs to, and I still am proud of this group when they come to a road course, because most people are afraid to let the game dictate the cautions because they're afraid they're going to have too many. And I don't think we have too many. I think we have just about what you would expect on a road course, because it's very difficult with those cars racing around each other in close quarters around those left and right hand turns.
Absolutely, and myself, I love the road courses, and I'm looking forward to this Friday night series with a couple of road courses coming up before the chase starts, and the road course coming up in the truck series on Wednesday night as well. I know that Road America is going to be the last race before the chase in the Xfinity series, and that happens to be one of my favorite road courses of all time. Road America, I love that track.
Speaking of Road America, during the discussion of road course racing over the past week or so, that it's very interesting to see that the group is completely divided about Road America. Some hate it, some love it. I'm with you, Texan. I love Road America. That is my most favorite road course. And I'll tell you, besides, I mean, you got to kind of put Watkins Glen to the side, because Watkins Glen is the one that we've raced for years and years, and it's a special place to us, and we love coming to New York. We've got good friends up in New York, the Rochester Rocket, Josh Slocum, and our good friend Axel Foley over on Long Island. I mean, we love coming to New York. We love coming up north and hanging out. Us Southern boys love to come up and hang out with the Yankees and race on the road course. But I tell you, you heard me not too long ago talk about Pocono, and that the tunnel turn was my most favorite turn in all of NASCAR. That Canadian turn down there at Road America, that's my second most favorite turn. It's a sweeping right-hander, and you just haul the mail through there. And Road America will be very exciting. And this track coming up Friday night, Mid-Ohio, always produces a lot of good racing and a lot of fun, because it's just one of those tracks that we don't go to a lot, but when we do, everybody shows up and has a good time. So we're looking forward to that coming up Friday night.
Yeah, speaking of Friday night, we run the Xfinity series on Friday night, and once again, we were at Watkins Glen with another great race. Another good group of drivers turned out on Friday for that Watkins Glen race, and it was H.B. Hardy in that number 30 machine that brought home the victory in the Xfinity series at Watkins Glen.
Yes, HB with a great win. Keith McLean second. Scar gets third. Momo and BSR Mr. Magoo rounds out the top five.
Hey, Momo finished fourth?
Yes, he did.
Oh, Momo.
Momo with the top five at the Glen.
Yeah.
He was actually fifth across the line, but scoring had to move a fellow driver.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there you go. You got another driver who's successful at all the tracks we go to, and he shows up at Watkins Glen, and he's successful there. So that'll just show you that like I was talking about, being balanced in all principles of racing. That's a key to success here, and it goes to show that the popularity of these road courses is really something that everybody enjoys.
Oh yeah, and two of the best road course racers took the victories on Thursday and Friday. Kilojoules and H.B. Hardy, both great road course ringers. Just about any road course, those guys are going to be fast and up in the top spots just about every time.
Yeah, for those of y'all who know H.B. Hardy, I've always said if you know him, he's got that Boris Said hair. I noticed that he's got it down he's got it down kind of low and tight now. It's not as poofy as it was, but he's still got that. If he let it grow a little bit, it'd have those curls in it, like Boris said. So I've always told him that's what I think leads to his dominance at the road courses, because he is definitely a road course aficionado.
And a said head as well.
Yes.
Now on Friday night after the Xfinity Series, oh, whoa, I just about passed up the points there. Let me not do that. Let's take a look at the points here. We've only got 3 races left to go in the Xfinity Series before the chase starts. And it's BSR Terry Scott up at the top with BSR Chevy Chase in second, down by 9. Brain Fade in third, down by 27. BSR Hot Rod in fourth, down by 45. And myself, BSR Texan, rounding out the top 5, down by 54. Looks like Pockets, looks like you've got a little work to do. You're right there in 6th, down by 64. If you want to get up in that top 5 and get you some segment bonus points before we hit the chase, you've got 3 races to do it.
It doesn't show it there, but Mr. Pockets dropped back 2 spots.
Yes, I had a very unfortunate thing happen to me in the bus stop area of Watkins Glen Friday night. I was trying to run the race and take it easy and not really push too hard. Just gonna kind of play the attrition and save my tires and see if there was anything to be gained or lost on fuel mileage. And going through the bus stop there, going into the bus stop, I downshift to third, jump over that first little curb, and then kind of float down in there to see and judge my speed to see if I need to stay in third or shift down to second to get back in the gas to get a good charge into that big sweeping right-hander right past the bus stop. And for some reason, I inadvertently went from third to second, and I hit first gear. And when I hit first gear, it locked up, kicked around sideways with me, and I put it in the tire barrier with the passenger door, and that was it for me. And that was on about lap 13, so that relegated me back to the very back, about 17th place. So that was a very unfortunate. It's like I said, speaking of the wild card, that wild card killed me, and it was just driver error. And we'll just have to regroup and see what we can do. I mean, we're not going to quit. We're not going to lay down. We're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We're going to come back these last 3 races and see what we can do.
Oh yeah, that DNF, that will get you for sure every time. And with 2 more road courses coming up in this series, it's easy to lose gears at these road courses. So you may have some other drivers, myself or Hot Rod up there, that may have some trouble in one of these races, and you may pop right back up there into that 5th position.
Yeah, those
Oh yeah,
this
that
keeps
5th spot is far from over. That's for sure.
And the way the scoring and everything works, we've got all these different categories and columns and stuff like that. And that's the one column that I am particularly proud of and watch is the DNF column, because you very rarely see the 38 drunkencowjerky.com hot team in the DNF column. But hey, it's racing. I mean, everybody's going to have a bad night. Things are going to happen beyond your control. People are going to make mistakes. I made one Friday night. It cost me and put me a little mark there in the DNF column. But, who's to say? It may happen next week. It may, but we're going to, you know what I mean? We're just going to battle back and see what we can do. And like Larry said, yes, that 5th spot for that valuable bonus point going into the chase for this second segment, very valuable. So everybody's going to be fighting for it. And when you get to fighting, sometimes you fight too much and you end up losing instead of gaining. So nobody's safe there close to that epicenter of the 5th spot for the bonus point.
That's right. There's a long way to that one sewed up. That'll be a dogfight all the way to Road America.
Yep.
Well, let's move over to the Friday night Boyles Trucking Dirt Series at the Devil's Bowl. Good ways into this series already. And this week, it was Eli 114 brought home the victory at the Devil's Bowl.
Yes, Eli with a good win. Rick Johnson in second. BSR Hot Rod in third. BSR Pockets fourth. And Mr. Boyles Trucking rounds out the top five.
How many
Great win.
races left to go in this series?
3.
3 races.
3 to go. Go at the Madness in Mesquite. Yeah, that's been a big battle right there. I mean, you can see over the last couple of weeks that it's been between the Foot Doctor and Eli 114 and everybody else trying to get up there and battle with those guys. And it's what's the points look like in that deal?
Let's take a look. I do believe Larry is in the lead. Yes, he is. Larry, BSR Hot Rod, has got the top spot with Eli in second, down by 11. And there's BSR Pockets in third, down by 30. Chevy Chase in fourth, down by 34. And BSR Brain Fade rounding out the top 5, down by 38.
Yeah, so it's still a tight, those that series right there, the top 3 get prizes from our great sponsors, Voiles Trucking, Brian and Kathy over at Voiles Trucking. The top 3 pay out for that series right there. So the epicenter that I like to call it is third place right there. So you see that battle, as I referred to, between Eli and the Foot Doctor, BSR Hot Rod, our own Larry Yeager. That's heating up with 3 races to go right there. I mean, you'll have another example of you got to be on your game and not make any mistakes, or it may cost you a nice plaque and several bags of beef jerky from Drunken Cow Jerky if you make a mistake there. But if you pull it all together, then you have a chance to come out. That series is just outstanding. I mean, it really is. The level of competition and the amount of fun that we have on the dirt series it's hard to beat.
Defending series champion still in the lead.
That's right. You better be knocking on some wood or something there, defending series champion.
Hey, you told me that when I put the series champion on the side of my car.
Well, you keep talking, you're gonna talk yourself out of it. That's what I always say.
Yeah. You know, Eli is
That's okay.
Eli's very good at that Devil's Bowl dirt there. He's tough to beat. So, only 11 points back with 3 races to go. You're definitely going to have a fight on your hands. That's for sure.
I do know one thing, Pockets. I think you're right about that series champion. I think that's led to all the bad luck I've had this season so far.
Maybe go back to the other car without it. If you have any more bad luck, you might want to go back to that other car for the last couple of races.
Nope, can't switch. Got to stay with it. But it is coming off next year, though. I do know that.
Well, on to the Saturday night team series battle of the 6 flavors. Season 35 coming to an end here shortly. We've only got 2 races to go in this team series, and the points definitely tightened up this last week.
Yes, yes, they did.
BSR Chevy Chase bringing home the victory for the Beer Bacon team in this series this last week.
Yep, Chevy had a great win. Let me see. See if I can remember who won? Being we ordered to the teams.
I believe Reaper finished in second place.
It was SS Joba got second. And then Momo, I believe, for the teriyaki team was third. And original score was DJ. The ghost score was Mr. Magoo. And the hot score was Brian Boyles. But another good effort for that hot team.
Well, let's just see how tight the points are now as we go into 2 races left to go. Teriyaki's still holding the lead. Beer Bacon has closed it up to 6 points behind. Reaper also gained a little bit, down to 11 points behind. So you've got a good battle there for that top spot, only separated by 11 points. And those next 3 teams, looks like the battle for 4th place. I mean, those guys are close. Hot down by 41, Ghost down by 43, and Original down by 44. You got a battle for 1st and a battle for 4th with 2 races left to go.
That's right. It'll be interesting. We'll see how it shakes out here in the end.
Definitely going to be interesting. It always is on the Saturday night team series. You heard us talk about how high the level of competition is there. So it's going to get ugly.
Teriyaki's starting to really see the heat now.
Yeah, Teriyaki had a little trouble in this last week's race. Of course, Momo did good. He stayed up there with the lead in the lead draft for pretty much the whole race and able to bring home the spot for his team. But I believe Bear Bacon made up about 5 points or so. We were down by maybe more than that. We were down by at least 11 or 12 points last week, and Reaper, I believe, was down by 15. So they made up 4 points as well. With 2 races to go, that's going to be close. That's going to be real close.
Starting to see the collusion. Reaper was helping Bear Bacon Saturday night. Yeah, kind of leaving Teriyaki out to dry a little, at least early for sure. But yep, it's starting to get real interesting. Enemies are starting to form on a racetrack.
You see Momo over there in the chat, six back BS. And you got to remember that Reaper team. That's the same team that it wasn't as a Reaper, but the same 3 drivers, SS, Jimmy Dale, and Brain Fade were all on the Ghost team last season, and they did bring home the championship as the Ghost team. Same 3 drivers on Reaper, and they're right there scratching and fighting for it again this season as a Reaper team. They may just bring home back-to-back victories on 2 separate flavors. So let's talk about the Saturday night Voiles Trucking Series. We did have a fun run this last night at Michigan. Rick Johnson brought home the victory in that fun run, but we've got a brand new season getting ready to kick off next week, I believe, and that season's going to start out at what track is that going to start out at, Larry? Kansas.
Yes. The schedule is Kansas, then Bristol, Pocono, Canadian Tire, Eldora, Atlanta, Dover, Michigan, Talladega, and then ending the season with Texas. That's a pretty good schedule. There's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, now last season, this series was run in the MENCS mod. And there were stages. There was stage racing, stage bonus points. This season, it's been changed up a little bit to kind of go along with the Voiles trucking theme. We are running in the trucks this season instead of the Mensa Cup cars. So it will be trucks, and I believe these stage points have gone away. It's your regular scoring, just like all of the other series are. So you'll get your bonus points for leading a lap, extra points for winning, bonus point for leading the most. But we will be running in the trucks to kind of go along with our Voiles Trucking sponsor here for this Saturday night Speedway series.
Yes, that is correct. It'll be a regular scoring format. There's nothing out of the ordinary. We had talked about doing a tire rule, but we couldn't get confirmations on tire limitations, so we decided to drop that part of it too. So just a regular Saturday night series in the CTS. I think it'll be a good series. I think we're going to have a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, we got... Go ahead, Killa.
I was about to say we must have lost Pockets, because surely he would have chimed in on this by now.
Yes, what I was going to say is how this all came about is that we've tried several different formats on that, and we've had marginal success on it. I mean, late night, you're only going to get so many people that are going to come out and be able to support a series like that at that time and stuff like that. But we sat down and we got to discussing with the series directors and the sponsor and everybody else, and what we decided is that let's look at the series that we have, and CTS Physics, the trucks, just produces great racing, especially on speedways, and we wanted this to kind of be a speedway type series. We wanted to stick with that philosophy and that format, and came up with the idea of, I thought the best way to determine the tracks for a series like this is, we wanted to try a random draw. So series director HB Hardy set up his cam, and he got his hats out. I mean, he did everything. He got it all lined out, and he drew the number of the race and the track. That's how we come up with the schedule. It was a random draw, so that way it's not just somebody picking the tracks that they think's best. We let fate determine the schedule, and we're going back to the open sets, because the open sets is just, there's just too much available for you to be able to use in open sets. We batted it back and forth. Some people prefer fixed sets, but this is and always has been the advanced level of sim racing. And we decided that we were going to go with the philosophy of continuing to have the philosophy of this is the advanced level of sim racing. And you're only going to be able to be the advanced level if you use open sets. That way, everybody has, you can make changes during the race. You can make changes in happy hour and stuff like that. With fixed set, the only thing you can do is change your steering ratio to help you with your handling of your car. This way, we're giving it all back to the drivers. The drivers get to be crew chiefs. The drivers get to bounce ideas and get tips and tricks and hints from other drivers and share information. And it just really, really helps the competition level. And you could see that right away in the first race, the exhibition race that we had last night at Michigan. It was an outstanding race. I mean, it just really was. So that's the theory behind that. And we also went with the trucks because Brian and Kathy Voiles at Voiles Trucking, we went with the trucks because our philosophy of this is a way to kind of honor the American trucker without none of us could be able to survive. So we're going with the Voiles Trucking Truck Series racing kind of theme, and that's how that all come about.
And the only track that was predetermined was the El Doro track, which was a request from series promoter Will's Trucking.
Yeah, and fate just happened to pull out a great schedule with those picks.
Oh yeah,
track
Really?
picks. Yeah, awesome.
We couldn't have sat down. We couldn't have sat down and actually made a better schedule than what we have. I mean, absolutely couldn't have.
We got a little bit of everything. I mean, we got short tracks, we got road courses, we got a super speedway,
yep.
Talladega in there. It really that worked out just the way I hoped it would. I mean, it really did. That random draw of tracks just it really set us up for what's going to be a great thing. And we had a great field last night. I mean, people when we went back to the open sets and went to the truck racing, like I said, the physics that a lot of people love and produce great racing. That's how that went.
I ran that race last night, and I did figure out one thing. I definitely need to change my setup for Michigan this week in the trucks. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, let's go over and take a look at the bonus points so far. As you guys know, the truck series is already into the chase, so there won't be any truck bonus points. But on the Xfinity side, it was HB Hardy, of course, that took the victory at Watkins Glen, moving himself up to the top there with 4 victories in this series. Also, if you look over in the total bonus points column, he's now highlighted in green. With that victory, HB moved up to tie with 3 other drivers for the lead in the bonus points so far. You've got HB Hardy, BSR Chevy Chase, Rick Johnson, and myself, BSR Texan, all with 15 tied for the lead so far as we move on towards the chase. And then you've got Pockets, Terry Scott, and Nelly, all just 1 point back with 14. And BSR Brain Fade sitting there with 13 points for 3rd place before we go into the chase. 3 races left to go before we hit the chase, and these segment 2 bonus points are handed out. Now there's also going to be a set of bonus points, just like the segment 1, segment 2. There will be an overall set of bonus points where the points from all of the races, segment 1 and 2, are added together. And there will be the top 5 Leader will get 2, and the other 4 will get 1. So as we move into the chase, into the Xfinity, and in the Cup Series, we're not only going to have segment 2 bonus points handed out, but overall bonus points as well to pay off for all of those drivers who've made almost every race and make it up into the top 5 in the overall as well as the segment.
Be exciting. It's going to be exciting. That's all I can say.
I want to give Momo his shout out. He said to do a shout out for Chase Elliott on his first win. I told him we already did, but we'll do another shout out for Chase with his first win.
We talked about Chase
I think
Elliott.
he typed that up right about the time we were talking about it there, and we were talking about the race. Yeah, and that's pretty awesome. Chase is going to be in the chase with that victory at Watkins Glen.
Yes, he sure is.
And getting a push from a 7-time champion to get himself back around to the front stretch there. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, he sure did.
Now let's take a look at the Cup bonus points. Not a lot of change here. It was Kilojoules brought home his second victory. Moved up to 2 over there. He only made 1 race in that first segment. Only got 1 bonus point for that. But with his 2 victories, he's currently sitting at 3 bonus points over there in the total column. That puts him about 16 points off the lead. Myself and Steve Looney still tied for the lead with 19 total points, and Chevy Chase second there with 17 points. Then you've got BSR Pockets, Axel Foley, and Momo. Notice I've got you highlighted there in orange this week, Momo. I didn't forget that box. All 3 of those drivers tied for third with 16 bonus points so far, and 4 races left to go in the Cup Series before the chase starts.
I guarantee it. You picked the right color for BSR Momo in orange. Everybody that knows Momo.
Yeah, look over there. It looks like Brainface noticing on these chase bonus points that first isn't showing. Yeah, that name's been blacked out for reasons I don't think we really need to discuss, but they no longer race with us, and they won't be back. So instead of leaving them in there, we just went ahead and
they've been redacted. They've been removed.
Right.
Their name's off the list. Leave it.
But like we said, in this Cup Series, along with the Xfinity, you've got that 1 segment 2 box where those bonus points will be handed out, and there also will be an overall top 5 handed out as well. Next week on the spotter stand, along with the points from the regular segment 2 of the Xfinity and segment 2 of the Cup, we'll see if we can give you a preview of what those overall standings are looking like as well. Those points are already up. When you go into the RLM points pages, you can see the points for segment 2, and you can also see the overall standings. They are there for anybody to see anytime they want, but we will get them up for you here next week on the spotter stands as we close in on the chase to let everybody know who's likely to get those bonus points as well.
What I can't get over is that we're 3 races away from the chase starting. 3 weeks.
3 races in the Xfinity and 4 races in the Cup.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Month in the Cup, and it's on. 4 more chances for people to get those final bonus points and wrap up segment 2 before we add them all up and head into the chase for the DrunkenCowJerky.com championship in both Friday and Thursday series. That's super exciting. That's kind of snuck. Boy, I tell you what, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
It sure does. But there's some pretty exciting races coming up in the end of them schedules.
What are go over? Let us know what we got coming up there. What do we got?
In the Cup, the next 4 races is Michigan, then Bristol, Darlington, and ending with Indianapolis.
Man, you could. That's what I was gonna say. You couldn't get a more diverse little segment of races there for 4 races. It would throw the lady in black in there, Darlington. Wow, Darlington. You know, Darlington's the one that everybody kind of. I don't know how many people have been thinking that that's coming up, but that's without a doubt, I think I can go out on a limb and say that the toughest track
This
that we
track.
race at.
Yeah,
It is
Absolutely.
the toughest track. But with that being said, that it being the most difficult, toughest track that we race at, that actually adds to the excitement because as sim
Sure.
racers, we strive on the difficult, more technical, really got to do thing right kind of track. And Darlington is that'll be. I'll put it to you this way: several years ago, I was fortunate enough to win a cup race at Darlington, and that is still my most favorite render that I ever got from WLS Graphics and Tim Scarborough over there that does all of our artwork for us. I still that is one of my most prized wins because if you can win at Darlington with this group, that
You
is
can win anywhere.
there's just hardly anything better than saying that you are a Darlington winner. It just because that everybody knows what that means when you say you've won Darlington. They all know, people who know racing and sim racing know that that's the one. That's the most difficult, most challenging track that we run at. So that's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, extremely hard to pass there at either end of the track. There's just not a lot of room in those turns. You can barely enough room really to go too wide at either end. Turn one, turn two, three, four. It's just there's just not a lot of room there, and it's hard even if you want to let somebody by. It's difficult to do. You almost have to wait till you're on the straightaway and get out of the gas a little to let somebody pass if you know that they're faster than you. That's extremely hard track to pass or to even let somebody pass, much less to race side by side. It's difficult.
Yes, the
It,
worst part's coming off the corners, not necessarily getting into the corners. It's coming off the corners. It's bad, real bad.
I,
it is. It's that track is the entrance to each corner is different. The exit to each corner is different. I mean, you got the big fast end. You got a slow down end. You got it's just. I mean, that's a
Yep, tough,
that
tough
thing is
track.
that thing is super loose coming off the corner, and it's just man that is a. I'm excited about it because it is a fun race, even though you would think a track like that, people would say, man, this track sucks. But everybody loves that track because it's just so difficult, but so much fun to run on.
well, I don't know about everybody. I don't love it. That's for sure. That's probably my least favorite track on the schedule, I think, out of all the tracks there that we
Really?
race. Yeah, I would have to say Darlington is my least favorite, and another one of my least favorites happens to be in the chase, and that's Dover. I believe that is in the chase, isn't it? Another
Yes,
very tough
yes, it
track.
is.
That is a tire eater.
Well,
I love Dover. Dover's like my favorite track in the whole game, and I
all
suck
right.
there really bad, but that's my favorite track.
Well, let's ask Texan. I think this is a very interesting question. Do you dislike it of of the success or the lack of success that you have at those tracks, or is that the reason that you don't like it, or do you not like the challenging, have to overcome effects of the track? I mean, what leads to you to not like that track?
I wouldn't have to say it's to the lack of success. It's more of just the overall difficulty and how easy it is to get into trouble. Uh, yeah, I've had a lot of trouble at those tracks. Getting the car damaged and banged up, and beaten up. There's especially that turn three at Darlington. One and two is not so bad. It's pretty easy to, check up a little if you need to, or you can kind of make a pass there in one and two. But turn three, everybody seems to break a little bit differently. Some people will go into that corner, a little faster, a little harder than others. And it's also real easy to just miss that breaking point and overdrive that corner. And if I don't overdrive the corner, there's been a lot of times where I just drove right into the back of somebody, or somebody been right into the back of me. It's too easy to get into trouble, and Yeah, maybe it is somewhat of a lack of success, but I just feel like here comes Darlington. This is going to be my race where I'm going to have some trouble and maybe not get a DNF, but I'll probably be towards the back somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's going to be trouble at Darlington. There is absolutely no doubt. And you did bring up a very interesting point about turn 3 is that it is so difficult to get rhythm and hit that corner the same way every time you need to, because sometimes you go too fast, sometimes you go too slow. You're dealing with other cars whose rhythm is off, and they can't really find the rhythm that they need to get through there. Every lap at Darlington is a new adventure every time. And I can tell you this, without a doubt, the tracks that are on my list that I do not care for, which there's only a couple, is strictly due to my lack of success. That's why I hate those tracks, because I suck there. But a track like Darlington and the one that you mentioned, Dover, I really like those tracks because they are so different that it's just something different to do than a mile and a half cookie cutter track. Because you know as well as I do, at a mile and a half track, like for example Kansas or Chicago or Charlotte, it's so easy to get into that rhythm. It's just timing. You can really get your rhythm down, and that leads to you laying down consistent laps overall through a fuel run, and if you have a good pit stop, then that just helps with your success. But these tracks that are hard to time and hard to get your rhythm, and difficult to race around other drivers is that's part of the challenge. And I guess I kind of like the challenge, but like I said, there's tracks that I'm just not successful at that I don't like, and it's because I'm not successful there. I just haven't figured them out yet.
Well, we'll see who's got it figured out here in a few weeks when we come up to that track here in the
Sure
Cup
will.
Series. Now let's go ahead and take a few minutes here and give a shout out to all of our sponsors. We would like to thank Mark and Richard Heyman from Drunken Cow Jerky, also Brian and Kathy Boyles over at Boyles Trucking, Rick Craddock from Realtech LLC, BSR Scar from WLS Graphics, BSR RJ Rusty from the Medicine Chest Pharmacy, and BSR Tyler and Rhoda over at Hello Sunshine Hello. Once again, we appreciate all of you guys and everything you do for us here at BSR. You make our racing that much greater and that much more fun. We're able to give out a lot of great prizes thanks to all of our sponsors, and we have a lot of great racing and a lot of fun here. We really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to
Yes,
visit
thanks to all the
drunkencowjerky.com.
Yeah, that's right. And once again, there is a link. There's always a link at the bottom of at the description under the video there to Drunken Cow Jerky. Click on that link and it'll take you straight to their website. You can get any of those great 6 flavors, including the Wolf Bites from drunkencowjerky.com. And also in the bottom of my streams, there's always a link. So if you're ever watching my stream or on the spotter stand, there's always a link there in the description box to go visit Drunken Cow Jerky.
Hey, before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to, and I gotta quit saying shout out because not too long ago Ben Beasy said that's no longer hip and cool. So I want to mention our server provider, where we get our everything that we need to put on these races and to simulate all of these things. And that's racelm.com. They are the people who provide us with all of the technical help and all of the things that we need to get people from not only around the United States, but around the world to be able to come in and compete together. And Brian over at RaceLM has always done an outstanding job. He provides the absolute best equipment. I mean, it's just a couple of months ago, we got all brand new server boxes, and we've been with RLM for over 11 years. And I was thinking the other day, and I've kind of kept track of this. I think there's been one time in 11 years that we had a problem during a race, and it wasn't a problem with the equipment, it was just a problem with the connection, something going to and out that leads us to all be able to get in there. But RLM has never left us on the side of the road, so to speak. When we click the button to race, it's always there for us. It always works good, and we're just proud. We don't mention Brian and Race LM enough, because without them, we would have to come up with a complete whole nother program to be able to pull this off that we do. And they have been instrumental in our success at Bomb Squad Racing for over 11 years. And we want to just say thanks to Brian. Anybody out there looking for a great place, great server, visit what is it, racelm.com?
RaceLM.com, yep.
There you go. The prices are reasonable. Brian will work with you. He's always willing to listen to your concerns. If you've got anything that you need, he'll take care of you. Their prices are very reasonable. You're not gonna be able to find a better, cheaper place to get your gaming hosted. And they don't just do that. You can get other sims in there. I think they do. What's that one, Larry?
R Factor.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they've
Yes.
got, and so yeah. I just we don't mention them nowhere near enough, and I'm going to start mentioning them a little bit more because we need to, because they have always done a great job for us.
Yeah, and it's not just the servers, but all the great tools that come along with it with Race LM. The ability to edit your seasons, put up different series. The points go in nice and easy. They're calculated up. You can even edit how the points are calculated if you like. Just all of the great tools that they have to go along with it makes the racing, it makes it all go nice and smooth, and all of your drivers are able to go and check their point standings and their statistics and results from each race. There's just a lot that goes along with it there with all those great tools that really makes the whole package for Race LM.
Yeah, and that's how we share our car files, our different car paints for people who have 24 different car paints like BSR Momo. And these pages that you see Texan put up that's got these schedule and these scoring and stuff like that, that's all part of the package. It all comes in, it's all very user friendly, and that's what it allows us to be able to simulate real racing with scoring and tracks and all that other stuff. All that stuff is built in, and it's very simple to use. And I just wanted to take the time we were talking about that this weekend, and I actually chatted with Brian a little bit this weekend, and that just brought to attention that, I need to give them their due. So thanks for hearing us out on that.
Yeah, one of these days I will get me that's not very good grammar, is it? I'm going to get a better monitor, or maybe add another monitor where I've got more room on my other screen here. Right now I've only got enough room to just put up the points, but if I had a little bit more room, I could show you guys some more of the great stuff that Race LM offers, the statistics for each series. That's great to be able to put up there who's won how many, who's got the most top 5s, most top 10s, the most DNFs. Shows your average starting position, average finishing position. There's a lot of info up there, and like I said, one of these days I'm going to either upgrade a monitor or just add another monitor altogether. We'll be able to get some more of that great stuff up there for you guys to see on the spotter stand.
Yes, and if I can figure out how to do scheduling and do the points, and it tells you it's pretty easy to use.
We appreciate everything you do.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Larry does a lot for us in the points. Also, BSR Brain Fade does a lot for us in the points as well. Both of those guys are always in there editing the points, uploading the exports, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. I'd like to give a shout out to all the admins here at BSR. They're in the server helping out, giving back laps, clearing black flags, everything that has to be done to keep the racing nice and smooth and great for everybody.
It takes a lot of people who contribute to keep this big machine rolling year in, year out, as long as we've been here, with all of the stuff that most of the people that watch our streams, or just, a lot of people who just enjoy sim racing, they don't really, there's a lot of places, a lot of people out there, they just show up and race. It is the people that we have behind the scenes, like Larry and Brain and all the others that you mentioned, the admins, that have to get in here and do this technical, tedious, time consuming crap that keeps all of this big show moving forward through all these series, all these different races, as we race across the country back and forth and simulate all the real racing that we do. It's very technical. There's a lot of behind the scenes work, and yes, we are proud of all the people that pitch in and help us accomplish that.
Yes, pat yourself on the back, Mr. Pockets, because without you, we would not be here. So make sure you give yourself a good pat on the back also.
Thank you, Larry. I depend on my success depends on a whole lot of other people who support me. So
I know that, but you still, hands down, do more work than any of us.
well, I appreciate that.
Well, with that, we're going to call it a week here on the Spotter Stand. We appreciate everybody who tuned in and watched this live, and we'll be back next week to bring you all the updates from another great week of racing. We appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Spotter Stand.
See ya.
Holla.